Welcome back, fellow campers. Today we're embarking on a camping journey filled with unexpected twists and turns. Our first stop promised tranquility, but as far as the second, things don't quite go as planned. This is our campsite. With temperatures rising and spirits dropping, we had a tough decision to make. Sometimes the best adventures involve knowing when to pivot, so we waved goodbye to the blazing heat and opted for plan B. But fear not, our camping journey is just getting started. Stay tuned for a tour of my no-build car camping setup where I'll show you how we make the most out of our adventures. So join us as we swap tents for cozy beds and embrace the unexpected twist of our camping escapade. Set up the big tent. Just need you to Hello, I guess I should say something like, hi, welcome to my channel. I'm camping with my toddler.
On my plate.
Okay, do something about it. I'm camping with my toddler and we are on a 5-acre farm just outside of Lake City, Florida. One of the first things I like to do when I get to camp is set up my footprint. Some type of rug with a tent to keep my toddler safe from any bugs or manure that might be in the meadow. Right now, I need to prioritize getting electricity to my cooler and start charging any lights I might need for the night. Check this trick out. This is what I learned from an on-set electrician. If you unroll the cable while you're walking, you will end up with any kinks, so no one's tripping at camp. Excuse me.
You cooking some lunch?
Yeah, I'm gonna cook for us. Traditionally, after setting up my footprint and getting some electricity, I like to set up my camp kitchen. This table's the worst. It's trash. It takes 3 minutes to set up. I do love how lightweight it is and compact, but it's the worst. If you have any recommendations for compact, lightweight camping tables, I would love to hear about it. The setup and the teardown of this table is just awful. It takes too much time. It's clunky. It makes me not want to use it at all. Luckily, this campsite had a picnic table I was able to later use, but we need a better solution. Setting up the bed. What are you doing?
Here?
No. In the yeah. I'm gonna give you a tour of my car in the campsite. This will be our bed later. This area will be for the kiddo and I. This will be from stuff that I don't want any dew to get on overnight. We've got our toilet situation inside because I don't like to go to the bathroom outside at night. Speaking of pooping outdoors, it's time to interrupt this week's episode. I am this week's sponsor. I have made the "We Could Be Pooping in the Woods" sticker to help support my next camping adventure. We've got power being run in from outside, powering our little bank. We got some perishables in the front. And we've got the screen covers for the windows. They fit okay. They'll work. Then we've got the car seat up front. First aid. Fire. Got a rug leading into the car. Got our keys hooked up here so we don't kill the battery. We've got a tent. Got a rug, and our cooking situation is back here. We also have a fire pit, this beautiful tree, and this beautiful meadow, which we're gonna go over there soon. This is my cooking setup. We've got my Coleman with these little Amazon. Cooked some pizza in there. Got yes, very important. Got some towels for when we're doing dishes. Got a scrubber. Got some degradable soap. And a trash can. Left to right, my friends. Let mommy get started on the fire and then I'll come in there with you. Yes, ma'am? Thank you. Hey, chicken nugget. If you're like me, you're thinking, who is pulling up on my campsite right now? This is Tom, and Tom is the host of our Hipcamp. Oh, right on. Thank you. When you book with Hipcamp, you never really know what kind of host you're going to get. Are they going to be hands-on, hands-off, standoffish? But Tom was really nice. When we first arrived on his property, he took us on a tour. Because he didn't have any current bookings, he was able to show us through each site on his 125-acre farm. The first site was the Arrowhead Sink, which is a floral-covered meadow with access to a private cave. On the first day we visited, his sheep were grazing from Arrowhead Sink. While he was giving our tour, he allowed us to get out of our vehicles and feed the sheep with some complimentary corn. From there, we drove past the Magnolia Sink, where all of the cows were hanging under the tree meadow. Tom gives you the option to have the cows free range or put away. For the safety of my toddler and the cows, I asked that the cows be put behind the fence. While we were visiting the cows, we also got to meet Tom's mom. I thought it was pretty incredible that Tom and his mom ran this entire 125-acre farm by themselves. After chatting for a bit, we were escorted to Dunnigan Meadow, where we spent the next 24 hours. I think if we were not driving along I-75 and Interstate 10, I would have never stopped in Lake City and found this campsite. A big selling point for me was Glen Point was roughly 5 to 10 minutes away from the exit on I-75. It was a quick stop, and I'm really happy I found this campsite. Holy moly, I never pet a cow before. Can my son pet you? He does it like this. Flip this shit. That's how you light something. It is currently 52 degrees. Last night we had a low of probably 48, 47. We had the space heater plugged in with a thermostat regulator. It was great. We had the panels for all the windows up, so it kept it insulated. We slept on a sleeping bag, but we had a sheet on top of us. It was a pretty comfy night, other than like the pressure of the mattress, because it's very thin. Self-insulated mattress. We don't have microfoam. What I've learned about myself in camping: if I'm with my kid, without a doubt I need power. If I set myself up for success at night, in the morning I will have a much more pleasant experience. I never want to go camping in sand again. You can watch that somewhere here. That was a lot. This was the darkest campsite I've ever stayed at. So as soon as nightfall hit, I kind of just went inside because I got a little spooked. Keeping all of our belongings inside this mesh tent kind of kept the condensation off of them. If I was at a beach with like a higher dew point, I would probably bring the cloth chairs inside. Yeah, I'm just starting to enjoy and get the hang of it a little bit more. The last time I went camping was back in February, and that for me caused like a complete like meltdown. I was uncomfortable. I couldn't manage the age that I was camping with. He's a little older now. He's almost 3, and you know, I did yell at him a few times. He tried to attack my camera. You know, it was a learning lesson. When he comes out, I'm going to teach him how to properly use the camera. First things first, Tino. You know what we gotta do? That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe you find it? Blackberry, where are you? Blankets. Nice. Who likes blankets? I know, that's the next step. Once I get your car seat in place. I'm your fire, your desire. Right. Already doing it. As the morning shifts to the afternoon, our checkout time approaches. It's time to pack up and farewell to this beautiful meadow. Packing up always feels bittersweet. While we're sad to be leaving the tranquility of this spot, we're anxiously excited for our adventures that lie ahead. Off camera, I'm visiting my family in the Panhandle of Florida, so in total, this trip is 7 days. 2 days at Glen Farm, 3 days in the Panhandle, and 2 days at our second Hipcamp. Poopy bag coming through. Poopy bag? Mm-hmm. Okay. So the first part of this trip was me getting to the Panhandle, and now the second half of this trip is me getting out of the Panhandle. We have booked literally someone's front yard. They have 3 acres, so I guess it's spread out. From what it looks like, we'll have a clean spot for the toddler to explore, and I won't have to worry about scat or dung or whatever you want to call it. And for some reason, I just have a little bit more anxiety. The weather is really misty. It's kind of cool. Currently 68 degrees. Second leg of the trip, we are dealing with rain. So that should be fun. I've never gone camping in the rain. It just seems like there's a never-ending I have nevers before, and I'm learning so much. Thanks for being here. And just like that, we've arrived at our new campsite. The temperature has risen and the heat is boiling us as the sun sets. We've passed our meal times and it's clear we need to get cooking immediately. Our campsite isn't a campsite, it's exposed for others to see and walk through. Upon arrival, we met the owner and a couple staying 50 feet from us in their RV. The campsite we chose is definitely designed for RVs in mind. The gravel path we are parked on is connected to the Airbnb, and the couple from the RV booked with Harvest Toast. When reading the reviews, I was anticipating something more private, but nonetheless, we move on. As I sat down to eat, the heat still lingering in the air, my kiddo slipped in the gravel and scraped his knee. It was time to pivot, and we officially hit our limit. So every time I show up at camp, it's a little bit different. Today, I had to immediately set up lunch and his table. This is our campsite. And there's some cows on this end. So let's get started. You know what? One day, I'm gonna get this right. Camping with a toddler. The Hipcamp that we stayed at last night had an Airbnb maybe 5 feet from us. It was empty, luckily. But if I was at the Hipcamp and an Airbnb was staying here, I would have felt a little claustrophobic. Like, I wouldn't have really felt like I was camping. This Hipcamp is definitely a pit stop, but the Airbnb, on the other hand, is lush. It's very nice. We've created a mess, as one does when they move in somewhere. Kiddo slipped on the gravel where our Hipcamp was. It was a lot hotter than I thought it was going to be. We were supposed to have like misty overcast, and it was supposed to be around like 68. It was closer to like 77. But just seeing how exhausted he was and knowing how exhausted I was, I kind of just caved. This has been a couple day trip, so I've been really putting him through the ringer. The first Hipcamp we stayed at, he did really well, had a lot of fun. But yeah, I forget that like as a little human, like he also has his limits. I have my limits and I was reaching them. I was really fatigued of traveling, going back to back to back to back. So I think I just caved. This Airbnb is a pretty nice price point. It's half of a barndominium. It's like a studio apartment, basically. Your kitchen, which you can see, and on the reverse side, there's like a little living room and bed, and the bathroom here. Thanks for watching. If you stuck around to the end, I just want to say thank you, and please consider subscribing. My goal is to hit 500 subscribers, which is when you can monetize your account on YouTube. Once I monetize, I can use those dollar bills to continue to fund my silly little adventures like this one. Until next time.